do. But it's also a graded answer. If you're talking about severe disease and hospitalization, you're probably very well protected because there's been a remarkable consistency in terms of protection of the vaccine in individuals between the ages of 18 and 65 who are healthy and don't have any medical conditions that predispose you to COVID-19. And that's why that population hasn't been targeted for boosters, because honestly, it's not needed right now. The efficacy is there and it's holding well.
Yeah.
I think what we'll be seeing in the next couple months is there will be talk of boosters in a more broad sense, but that's because we're going to be moving from the initial strategy, which was to get as many people vaccinated and get as high an immunity as possible. We're going to be switching from that strategy to what is it going to take for us to have long-term immunity for 2-3 years, so that we don't have to worry about taking COVID-19 shots every 6 months or every year. So that's going to be the transition for most individuals.
Now, time for some quick fire of today's stories from across the nation. Oil prices will hike up for the 9th straight week as global prices continue to increase. Currently, the oil price adjustments for this year stand at a net increase of almost 20 pesos per liter for gasoline, 18 pesos per liter for diesel, and around 15 pesos per liter for kerosene. The upcoming price hike is expected to increase gasoline prices by up to 1 peso and 20 centavos, while diesel prices will be increased by up to 50 centavos. POEA has partially lifted the OFW deployment ban to Iraq. However, only returning overseas Filipino workers can be deployed again to Iraq, while the ban remains for newly hired workers. This means that OFWs in Iraq who are looking forward to spend Christmas in the Philippines may come home, as they can fly back again after their vacation. A shellfish ban has been imposed in 10 areas in Visayas and Mindanao. This as shellfish collected in these areas remain positive for red tide toxins beyond the regulatory limit. These areas include the coastal waters of Dawis and Tagbilaran City in Bohol, Dumanquillas Bay in Zamboanga del Sur, and Lianga Bay in Surigao del Sur. Also under red tide alert are Villarreal, Cambatutay, and San Pedro Bays in western Samar, Cariagara Bay and the coastal waters of Leyte Town, and Matarinao Bay in eastern Samar. The BFAR said that all types of shellfish gathered in these waters are not safe for human consumption. Crowds of buyers are spotted in some of the metro's busiest shopping districts as the public scrambles to prepare for the upcoming holidays. Many are also visiting cemeteries for an early celebration of Undas, as public access will be prohibited by the end of the month. Arian Kalumbiran with the story.
Thousands of people flock to Canlaon Street in Quezon City to shop for Christmas decorations. Officials say around 2,000 people go to this area per day. Because of this, the Task Force Disciplina goes all out in reminding people to observe social distancing as the country continues to battle the pandemic. Buyers say they are taking advantage of the relaxed restrictions to find cheap items at the Dapitan Arcade in preparation for the holidays.
Lahat ng protocol na kailangan ginagawa natin. At saka sa social distancing kami. Siyempre, kailangan pa rin idaos, maski pa paano. Pasko kasi. So, pasasalamat na rin.
Vendors in the area are also hoping to recover from losses from previous lockdowns.
Kahit pa paano, nakakabenta naman. Medyo maganda-ganda ng konti ngayon. Ang benta.
Over in Manila, there's overcrowding of shoppers on Ilaya Street in Divisoria despite the threat of COVID-19. It appears as though people have forgotten about the pandemic and are not practicing social distancing. Shoppers say they need to prepare for the holidays this early ahead of the expected panic buying in December.
Hindi ka ba natatakot sa dami ng tao?
Hindi po. Bakit po? Nag-iingat naman po ako, yun na lang po para sa akin.
Natatakot kami sa COVID! Kaya lang kailangan bumili! Ayaw na namin ipaabot ng December!
Vendors and buyers are now calling on the local government of Manila to allow longer operating hours for stores in Divisoria. They also want a night market to be opened to avoid overcrowding during the day. More people are also spotted at the Manila North Cemetery visiting the tombs of their departed loved ones. This is the last week that cemeteries will be opened for the public before their closure from October 29 to November 2. Strict health and security protocols are being implemented in the area. Children are not allowed in the cemetery, as well as smoking and bringing of items to clean tombs. Free rides are also provided for senior citizens and persons with disabilities.
Wala pong bayad. Wala po. Ngiti lang po ang bayad.
Some of those who visited the cemeteries these past days wish that they get to celebrate Undas on November 1 or 2 in respect for tradition.
Yung talagang November 1 and 2, we should all be visiting our departed loved ones. Yun lang. Minove nila, iniba nila yung mga date. Ganda loko-loko yung mga...
Ganun din po ang nangyari, di ba? Nakita niya naman po, ang dahil rin tao. Di ba? Di ganun din. Sana ganun na rin. Kung ano yung araw ng Undas, yun na rin.
Despite the huge number of people flocking to cemeteries, flower vendors report dismal sales. This as prices of flowers shoot up due to effects of recent storms.
Sana makabenta pa po kami ng mas maganda. Tsaka nagmahal ang bulaklak talaga. Kaya yung mga buyer, wag na silang magulat na mahal ang bulaklak.
The Manila Police District says around 8,500 people have visited the Manila North Cemetery over the past few days. Arian Kalumbiran, we are One News.
Magnolia finally notched a win in the 2021 PBA Philippine Cup Finals on Sunday. That's as Paul Lee regained his fire shooting, scoring 21 points, while Ian Sanggalang added 20 markers. Mark Baroka also made some clutch baskets late in the highly physical game number 3 rather, to avoid sinking into a 0-3 standing in the best-of-7 series. Paul Lee had his explosive performance despite suffering some injuries, just like several other teammates.
Magpahinga man ako, masakit pa din so ilalaro ko na lang. And yun nga, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, na-motivate ako kay Mark Baroka kasi grabe yung tao. Nasaktan talaga siya ng sobra, pero nakita naman natin na na binigay niya sa laro talaga kanina. So, there's no reason para gumibap ako. Kung ano man yung nararamdaman ko, nararamdaman ng team namin. Siguro set aside na lang muna namin.
Now here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte meets former Senator Bongbong Marcos in Cebu and confirms that hugpong ng pagbabago supports Marcos's presidential bid. Supporters of Vice President Leni Robredo and Manila Mayor Isko Moreno staged separate motorcades in several areas over the weekend. And the presidential aspirant Calyodi de Guzman lays down his team's platforms for the 2022 polls, including legalization of divorce and decriminalizing abortion. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 10:45 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.